Why, hello and welcome back to all of my friends, my fans, and my fellow FTFLers to the longest weekly running episodic fantasy football update show. That's right, the red light is on and it is time for the FTFL weekly update. Woo! And it is I, your host, but also owner of the Hulkamaniacs and, really something that doesn't really need to be repeated, but I will again and again and again, your league champion. Woo! That's right, it is I, Brett Sieber, and welcome back to the show. Week 4 is now in the books. 1 month of football gone. 10 more games still. 10 more games. 2.5 more months of the regular season, and only one undefeated team remains. 2 of the 3 completely, well, let's be clear, according to most folks, done and out, all but defeated teams. 3 teams that looking for a win last week. 2 of them found one. Now, it was North versus South, part D, or part Zwei, or part Dos, whichever language you speak. I was going to say Espanol, but, never mind. The North edged out a victory last week, 3-2. The South came roaring back, 4-1. And who was that one, might I add? Who was that one person that benefited from every other team in the North losing? That's right, that team that people couldn't stop piling dirt upon. Risen up. We're in the winning column, finally. And speaking of finally, this is, again, 4 weeks in the book. I have not heard hi nor hair from my dear friend, the Macho Man. That changes tonight. Macho Musings is back. One other trade this week is Andy continues to go out and accumulate, I guess, potential. I mean, you're trading for potential. You're not giving up much. Kyle Pitts, you didn't give up a whole lot to get him. Who knows what is going on with Kyle Pitts? Good God. Andy this week added Zeke Elliott. Zeke Elliott, who I've been preaching all year, who needs to have a big season, kind of got off a little bit better, but he's kind of fallen back. He gets Zeke Elliott in the 10th from the architect and sends Tom Brady, who I believe Macho Man will talk a little bit about later, and an 8th round pick to Matt. And lastly, now, I've already covered quite a bit. As you can tell, my throat is parched, but some of the things I won't talk about because there's really no need to mention. I won't talk about how Lamar Jackson finally fell flat and so did Markster. Nope, I won't talk about that. I won't talk about how, again, all these teams wanted to pile on the champ and say he was dead to rights, and then maybe he wasn't. There's no reason I won't talk about that either. No reason for me to talk about that. And I definitely won't talk about that stain that has been removed from my team. Stupid face Russell Wilson. You are no longer stupid face Russell Wilson. You are Russell the Stain Wilson. And stupid face shall now be bestowed upon Kyler Murray. Anyways, those are the things I'm not going to talk about. But what we should talk about are the games. And the game of the week was 3-0 versus 3-0. Mana, 4-time Lucky Pants. 4-time Lucky Pants, breaking and entering, championship title stealing champ Mana. I don't think I said that right. My brain is in some wild places here tonight, my friend. Taking on the Pack Attack, who was also 3-0. This one was not even close. 103 to Eric, 66 and a half for Markster. If you're Eric, Josh Allen continues to be a stud, somewhat sort of. I mean, a down week, but 20 points. After the first 3 weeks of what I went through, I will not. You know what? Actually, even this week, I didn't even get 20 points for my quarterback. I would love 20 points for my quarterback. Travis Kelce, 16 and a half. Derrick Henry, 15.5. Cooper Kupp, 15. Mike Williams, 11.5. Justin Tucker, 11. Double digits all over the place. Amari Cooper, half point. Cordero Patterson, 8 points. And on the IR, one of Eric's, I'm not surprises, but solid contributors to his team. Had an off week. Well, it's slightly below average week, and now is going to be missing at least the next 4. That's a blow for Eric. For Markster, again, it came down to Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson was averaging over 33 points a game. And now, a highly unsustainable average. I understand that. But again, look no further. And I've said it. If he doesn't play at that level, Jeff Markster will be in trouble. Now, he wasn't the only one who cost Jeff Markster, but that was a big one. 12 points for him. Debo had a nice week 19. Jeff Chubb is still just fighting, rising high, putting all the effort in, giving it everything he has. 15 points for Jeff Chubb this week. Taylor, 2.5 points. Jonathan Taylor, that's right. Fantasy darling, number 1 overall pick in most leagues, greatest fantasy player in all the league last year. He is struggling. 2.5 for him. James Robinson. And that hot tub full of ladies, 0? Is that right? 0? That can't. Maybe he didn't play or something. He's been averaging over 16 points a game. 0 for him. Travis DeBozo, Etienne, 2 points. You know what? I'm going to tell you right now, the crew in the truck didn't even have a new sign ready for me, and thankfully, I guess it doesn't matter because I can do the Browerville math. Robinson, 49 after this week. Etienne, 16. Not much of a change there. The Rams defense in Jeff's starting lineup is 0. 2 zeros in Jeff's starting lineup. The 0 also now gone from the loss column. He is 3-1. Eric is also, Eric moves on to 4-0. Next up, a record-breaking performance. The highest that this franchise has ever scored, period. The Radioactive Monkeys coming in at 2-1, taking on the Mixing Cocktails with a mirror record of 2-1 as well. Now remember, Monkeys got off to a 2-0 start, faltered last week, and the thought was it smoke and mirrors? How is this going to look? He made a trade. He brought in Jamal Williams. He brought in Russell the Stain Wilson. And Adam Saltmarsh notched 133.5 points. Highest in franchise history. More than double the Mixing Cocktail 66. Good Lord, Saltmarsh had 4 players in 20-plus scoring category. The Niners, 23. Jamal, newly acquired Williams, 22.5. Mike Evans, 22. Murray. Why can't I think of what the hell Murray that is? It's not Latavius Murray. It's not Kyler Murray. Who the hell? You know what? It is Kyler Murray because Russell the Stain Wilson was on the bench. Kyler, stupid face, Murray with 22 points. Clyde Edwards with 18.5. My God, Russell Wilson and Josh Jacobs both had 24.5 on the bench. He could have scored even more. It doesn't matter because Andy didn't do much. CeeDee Lamb, 15. Jalen Hurts, 12. Joseph, 19. Couldn't just stop kicking field goals. Good God. Kyle Pitts, half point. Najee Harris, 4 points. 2 big trades Andy made last week. Didn't really amount to much this week. Dalvin Cook, 5 points. 3 trades that he was involved with. And really, where did we get with this? 9.5 points. 9.5 points. Andy's got to be looking for more coming into the future. He falls to 2-2. Salty goes on to 3-1. Next up, the 2-0-fers. Hulkamaniacs 0-3 taking on the Architect at 0-3. 88 for the Hulkamaniacs. Not the highest score in the North this week, but the only one in the North that actually won. Architect 0-3, 63 points. Hulkamaniacs 88. For me, T. Higgins started off hot Thursday night, 21.5 points. Trevor, newly acquired Lawrence, 14 points. My kicker, Mr. Bass, 13 points. Romeo, where art thou, Romeo? Oh, I'll tell you where art thou. In the end zone. Now, I know he did drop one, but if you have not been paying attention, this kid's time is now. That's right. Romeo Dubs, 10.5. Now, the running back situation, A.J. Dillon, 4.5. Jones, 7.5. Newly acquired Michael Carter, 1 point. 13 total. 3 running backs. That part of my lineup has got to get better. Obviously, I've invested some resources into it. Hopefully, we're able to turn that corner. Regardless, we got the win this week. Goff picked up off the scrap heap, 34 points on the bench. If you're Matt, Devontae Adams, 10.5. Gano and Jacksonville both had 10. Derek Carr, 4 points. Matt falls to 0-4. Not quite fire sale. Zeke Elliott isn't, top tier. But that may be coming soon. I moved to 1-3. Matt, like I said, is 0-3. and 4. And we've reached the time, my friends. It is time to hear what the great Macho Man has to say about the early going-ons in the FTFL. I present to you Macho's Musings. Oh, yeah! Oh, yeah! Yeah! Oh, yeah! Macho Man is back! Yeah, he's back, all right. Back in the FTFL. Yeah! All right, it's a brand new season, and Macho Man has got some musings because, you know, the Macho Man doesn't sit around doing nothing. No! The Macho Man spends a lot of time thinking. Let me tell you what I've been thinking about. That's what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to tell you, each and every one of you, just what the Macho Man, first name Macho, last name Man, has been thinking. Thought number 1, Lamar Jackson. Yeah. Lamar Jackson, you are a crazy individual, and the Macho Man can dig that. Yeah, every now and again, the Macho Man, gets a little crazy. Yeah, but you know what the Macho Man thinks is just a little too much for me? Boy, oh boy, I love money, and I love when money's in my account, and the Macho Man ain't gonna put himself in a situation where if all of a sudden something happens and I don't have the money, well, that's crazy to the Macho Man, because I'm telling you right now, Lamar Jackson, you're a talented individual. However, all the king's horses and all the king's men, they won't be able to put you back together again if it comes for you. Let me tell you. What's that I talk about? We'll get there, you know, but just know it'll be bad. But maybe not as bad. Yeah, maybe not as bad. Tom Brady's got it. Now, I said that, and I immediately want to take it back, because I think that Tom Brady, he has got everything. Who feels bad for that man? He is the GOAT, the greatest of all time. Yeah! He is the cream of the crop. He's risen all the way to the top. 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 titles. Yeah! 7 millions upon millions more money than God. And to top it off, a supermodel wife and family. Yeah. You had it all, Tom Brady. Every last thing. But it wasn't enough there, was it? No, Tom Brady, it wasn't. And now you done gone and messed it up. And I tell you, nothing drives the Macho Man more crazy than seeing someone take it all and squander it. I hope, Lamar Jackson, that's not what happens to you. And Tom Brady, well, you know, everyone makes decisions, although maybe their decisions are being made by someone else. Maybe it's the Fantasy Reaper, and you're like, who's the Fantasy Reaper? I'll tell you who the Fantasy Reaper is. He is someone that you do not want to be associated with, because I'll tell you, someone that can dig it. The Fantasy Reaper! Well, he can dig it, brother. And when he comes for you, I tell you, Lamar Jackson, Tom Brady, or anyone in the FTFL, you're going to be in a world of hurt. Dig it! Bravo and well done. As always, love to hear from the Macho Man himself. And you know what? He brings up a real great point. Tom Brady. I don't understand, Tom Brady. You are one of, if not the single most accomplished athlete in the history of definitely football, arguably in all of sports. You've worked hard. I have mad respect for the drive that you possess. It is a rare echelon you are in to have that kind of continual drive year after year, success after success. However, you had all your cake, and then you had to eat it too. You had everything, man. All you had to do was be done. Walk off into the sunset with your supermodel wife, your amazing family, millions of dollars, like the Macho Man pointed out. But no. And now where has that gotten you? Well, it doesn't sound like things are going super well for you. And I hate to be that guy. I hate to be the one that walks by and kicks the dog. I hate to be the one that sees someone trying to get up and shove them back down to the ground. But Tom Brady, I'm going to do it. Because you know what, Tom Brady? Because you just couldn't leave well enough alone. Because you couldn't have everything possible in life and still be happy. Tom Brady, because of that, because of all those average Joes like me who just are thinking, wow, Tom Brady has got everything. Tom Brady, you buffoon, you just made the list. I'm sorry, Tom. I didn't want to do it, but I had to. You made the list. All right. I blew up. I apologize. All right, next up, D's Nuts taking on Cramerica. Both teams 2-1. Cramerica's moving on to 3-1 with a 107.5 to 92.5 victory over D's Nuts. Austin Eckler, welcome to the show. Finally, 4 weeks in, that old 2021 form comes back. Justin Jefferson, 21 points. Tyreek Hill, Daniel Carlson, 15 apiece. Dallas defense, 11. Tua, whew, what a rough week Tua had, and all the Miami Dolphin brass. By the way, don't forget, Frank Smith, you're a bum. You're on the list. Mark Andrews, 1 point. Big week. I mean, he's had a couple big weeks. 1 point is an off week. Then again, Lamar faltered down the stretch, threw a bunch of interceptions, didn't do anything. Hope that doesn't happen again, Jeff. Hope it doesn't happen again. If you are Swart, boy, your newly acquired Miles Sanders, who you were very excited about having, which again, we'll see where this goes. 23 points. His second highest score ever in his 3-year career. He averaged 5 points last year. This year he's averaging 11 points. Maybe coming up Millhouse, Miles Sanders, and a second-round pick for Najee. You may have come out on top there. Joe the Mistake Burrow, 20 points. Leonard Fournette, this was amazing when I saw this. 11.5 points. 11.5 points. Yet, he had -3 yards rushing. How does a running back... I mean, and I know how. He got a bunch of receptions and scored a touchdown, but that's hilarious. -3 yards rushing for running back. Still, 11.5 points. Well done, Leonard Fournette. DK Metcalf slowly warming up as Geno Smith is coming into form. And who knows? The Seattle offense might be better than we thought. 11.5 points for him. George Kittle, 1 point. 1 point. Now remember, he was a bust from last year's draft. And he was taken in the second round this year. We said, well, let's see what happens. Let's see if he can get this done. I don't know, man. Now, over his 2 seasons prior to this, he averaged 9.5 and 9.6 points. This year, it's 1.5 points. Still, not the kind of numbers that you're looking for from a second-round pick. Swart falls to 2-2. Cramerica 3-1. And last game of the week, the Valhalla Vandals. That's right, I said it correctly. I didn't stutter. Coming in at 0-3, taking on Team Dickweed at 1-2. And Team Dickweed falls short again, which means the Valhalla Vandals pick up a win, 94.5 to 70.5. Patrick Mahomes was just slinging it. That one weird touchdown pass from 2 yards out was crazy. 24 points. J.K. Dobbins, you hung in there, you stuck with him, and you were rewarded 18 points for him. Run CMC 16.5. The Rage Room will have to wait at least one more week. Hyungway Koo, 12 points, and Brandon Cooks with 11.5. Davis and Knox, that trade that he made with Andy combined, 4 points. No one's trade value really did much this week. I hear you screaming, Swart. I hear you. I stand correct. Sorry. Miles Sanders. The rest of us really didn't get much return on the investment. If you're John, 18 for Herbert. Hall and Barkley both had 11. Again, Saquon Barkley, 146 yards rushing, no touchdowns. This kid, if he stays healthy, look out. McPherson also with 11 points. Cole Kmet, 1.5. Really just a underwhelming season for the tight end, who was probably expected to do a lot more. But that does come down to Justin Fields, who is a not great quarterback from the Ohio State University. Oh, shocker, a terrible quarterback from the Ohio State University. Anyone getting in line to draft C.J. Stroud? I hope you're doing your research. I hope you're watching. There has never been a quarterback from the Ohio State that has done jack in the NFL. Justin Fields joins the list. C.J. Stroud will be the next. Mark my words. All right, let's get to the stud, the dud, and the cringy. Stud, Austin Eckler, 27 points. Salty's team, 4 guys, 20-plus points. Highest in franchise history. Bravo, Salty. Nice job this week. Dud, George Kittle, 1 point for D's Nuts. A round 2 bust again, 2 years running. maybe a month into the season is definitely starting to see more of a trend as opposed to an anomaly, but I guess we'll let this play out. Cringy, maybe the North, 76.7 average this week, the South 100.3, and they're romping, except again for, well, you know what, I said I wasn't going to talk about it, so I'll leave it at that. All right, week 5, the matchups coming up. Hulkamaniacs 1-3 taking on Mixing Cocktails at 2-2, the Brother Bowl. Can I pull to 2-3 and push Andy down to 2-3? Remember, last year after week 5, all 5 North teams were 2-3. That's on the table somewhat, sort of, at least for 4 of us. Markser is 3-1. He could fall to 3-2. Team Dead Horse coming in at 3-1, taking on the Valhalla Vandals at 1-3. Dickweed at 1-3, taking on Mana, 4-time Lucky Pants, breaking and entering, championship title stealing champ Mana, coming in at 3-1. The Monkeys at 3-1, taking on the Architect at 0-4. And the Monkeys trying to keep pace with the Pack Attack, who is 4-0, coming in, taking on D's. Nuts. Tough break for Swart. Oh, well, no tears there. Maybe next time. And speaking of next time, that's when I'll see you. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Until then, peace! Hey, man. Yeah. Listen, very much so. Absolutely. Thanks. It appears that they got the message. I mean, yeah, but that was late, and so by then it didn't necessarily. The important stuff, definitely didn't happen. So did you enjoy your time in Philly? You get a good cheesesteak? 3, of course you did. 3. Yeah, that's covered. Don't worry about it. The champ takes care of those who take care of the champ. So, you know what? We'll get you arrangements sent to you as to where you're headed next. And thanks again, man. Laters.